Hello all, welcome to this new project on machine learning where we are going to do a banknote authentication on a data set which is provided on the UCI machine learning repository, and we will be building a classification model where we will be classifying fake and original banknotes based on the dataset. So firstly, let's see something about the dataset. So as you can see, this is the owner of the dataset, and the data which is provided is extracted from images of banknotes which are also genuine and also forged banknotes. And to keep everything equal, fixed size of the photo, that is 400 by 400 pixels of the banknotes have been used. Features are actually extracted from the images using this wavelet transformation tools. The features are in the form of a table. So here we have the features of this data set. So we have the variance of the wavelet of the transformed image, skewness of the wavelet of the transform image, kurtosis of the wavelet of the transform image, entropy of the image, and then we have the class, that is our target variable, that is 0 or 1, which 0 stands for fake notes and 1 stands for original notes. So let's build a classifier. So since we have a numerical data here, so we go for logistic regression because it performs well on such kind of data. And if we had some other data like categorical data, so we would have gone for high-end algorithms like decision tree or random forest. But for the sake of this video, we'll stick to simple logistic regression. So as the name suggests, it is not a regression model. It is actually a classification model, and it will help us to classify between the fake nodes and the forged nodes. So firstly, we'll import all the dependencies. So here I have NumPy, then we have pandas, sklearn, then from the sklearn we'll be importing the linear model from which we will be getting the logistic regression, then decomposition, datasets, etc. From sklearn we import the train test split for splitting the dataset. Then from the sklearn we will be importing pipeline. So this is something new that I haven't shown in any of the videos before, but in this video we'll be seeing how we can implement a logistic regression pipeline too, and then we will be implementing the grid search, which will help us to determine the best parameter for suiting our logistic regression model so that it can perform well. So along with the grid search, we also import the cross validation score, and then from the pre-processing module we import the standard scaler so that all the scales of the features are on the same scale. And lastly, we have the confusion matrix, accuracy matrix imported from the sklearn matrix module. Next thing is that we also import this import warning. Then from warnings, filter warnings, we choose the ignore part, that all the warnings which are due to the version error which occurs in the Jupyter notebook, that are actually skipped by just writing this 2 lines of code. So let's run this. So the next part is that we define a column and we have a list where we give the name of the features of our data set. So here I have given the name of the features as I had read earlier, and final we have the target feature name, that is class. So then using the pandas read CSV method, we read the dataset that is provided on this UCI machine learning repository that we have. So here if you go and see on this data folder, so you will get this data banknote authentication.txt. So this is the same dataset that I have used. So let's convert this dataset into a data frame, and we have stored it in this df object. So let's run this thing. Now if I just see this data set directly, so let me just run this thing. So you can see here the data set is that initially from index 1 to some point we have the class 0, and then we have the class 1. So this is not a shuffled data set, it is actually a very neatly packed dataset. So it is better that we shuffle the dataset so that our model gets trained properly. After splitting the data, the test part also has both the classes so that we can verify our model properly. So let's use this sklearn utils shuffle to shuffle the dataset, and we store it in the same object. Now if we see the dataset, so we get here random observations. So here we have 732, 60, then 1179, 828, etc. So let's see the value count of this data set, that is the target variable. What is in the target variable? So you can see here that in the target variable we have 0 and 1. So here we have 610 original nodes in the observation and 762 fake nodes. So this is a pretty balanced data set, so no need to use weighted keys in this data set. So we can go ahead directly. Now let's check the skewness of the dataset. So as you can see here, we get the skewness of the dataset, and you can see all the features here. They are like very lightly skewed or moderately skewed. We don't have any kind of highly skewed data in this dataset, but still we will be using the standard scaler so that all these features are on the same scale. So let's check for any missing values in our dataset using df.isnull.sum. So it shows that we don't have any missing values in any of the features. So let's check the correlation using the pandas core method. So we have df.core. By default it will give you the correlation based on the Pearson's correlation coefficient. We have multicollinearity between certain features, like here we have the kurtosis, and between the skewness we have some correlation existing. So this can lead to multicollinearity which will harm our model. So let's see what we can do for that. In the next part, we will be splitting it into separate matrices, that is x and y, x for the features, y for the targets. So here we are using the df drop, that is pandas drop method on the class adds an axis 1 so that we get all the features in x and we get the target in y. Now we split the data set using the train test split method that we have imported earlier. We pass the x and y, we pass the training size as 70% and the random state as 33. So let's run this. So the splitting is done. So now the next and the very important part here is creating a pipeline. So the main reason for creating a pipeline is that once splitting is done, if you want to apply the same procedure, like we need to apply the scaling on the test as well as the training part, so we can define it in a pipeline itself. So here I have declared a pipeline which has two objects, that is first is the standard scaler which will scale our data, both training and testing as we call it. Then we have the logistic regression model here which we are importing from the linear model part, and we are storing it into this object, that is logistics. So we have two objects here, SC for standard scaler, logistics for logistic regression model, and then we declare it in this pipeline object, that is pipe, using the pipeline method, and then we provide with this both objects, that is standard scaler and logistic regression. Then we go for declaring the regularization parameters. Use this np.logspace to declare regularization parameters for this C part. So we will be passing this penalty as L1 and L2 and let the grid search decide which is better for our model. Along with that, we will be also passing this regularization parameter to the model. So what we do here is that in the parameters object, we declare a dictionary where we have these two parameters, that is the logistic C, that is we get from here the logistic regression parameters, and we also define the penalty that we want to apply to our model so that it performs well. So for the penalty, we have given here the L1 which stands for lasso, and for L2 which stands for ridge. If you don't know about ridge and lasso, this things we will cover in a separate video, but for the sake of this video you should note that ridge regression and lasso regression are used for adding penalties to your model so that it performs well and it eliminates certain features which are not contributing to your model. Ridge regression actually adds the squared magnitude of the coefficient as a penalty term, and lasso actually adds the absolute value of the magnitude as the penalty term to the loss function. So we will actually let the grid search decide which is best for our model. So in this parameters we have declared both of them. Then we declare a separate object, that is CLF, and we call the grid search method that we have imported from sklearn. We pass in the pipeline to it, and we also pass in the parameters to it that we want to find which is the best one. So let's run this thing. Now on this CLF object, we just need to call the fit method. It will actually fit the training features and the training targets, and when it is calling this fit method, it will by default call this pipeline. So whenever this fit method is happening, so X train and Y train will undergo first the standard scaling, then logistic regression will be applied on it, and then grid search will be performed on it so that we get the best parameters for our model. So let's run this. So after fitting the data, we can use the CLF best estimator method from the sklearn So we get that the best penalty for our model is L1, that is lasso regression should be applied on the model so that we get maximum results from our model and our classifier performs perfect classification. Besides that, the regularization parameter value is equal to 7.9060, so can be passed when you are creating the object for your logistic regression. So besides that, so once the model is ready with the pipeline and the grid search, so what we can do is that we can call the same CLF object and use the predict method to get the predictions on the testing dataset. So here we will be using the clf.predict on that X test and we'll be storing it into this ypred. So we have got the predictions. So if you wish to see the predictions, so this is the prediction that we have got using our model. So let's check for the accuracy of our prediction on the testing dataset that we have got using this model. So what we will do is that first we have the score here, best score here. Besides that, we have the best parameters and we will be printing the confusion matrix. So in a while I will tell you about the confusion matrix and the accuracy score and the classification report. But first let us run this part. So you can see here we get the best score as 0.99. That means our model is performing pretty well in terms of classification of fake notes and bank notes. Besides that, we get the best parameters here, that is the value of lambda 7.9060, and the penalty that we want to apply to our model is L1, that is lasso, and this is the confusion matrix. So let's see what this confusion matrix actually is. So for any classification problem, this matrix, that is the confusion matrix, is a very important part. So here we have a 2 by 2 matrix which actually gives us this 216 is the true positives that we get from our model, then this 191 are the true negative that we get from our model, and the overall accuracy is what, 216 plus 191 upon 216 plus 191 plus the false positive plus the false negative. So we get the total overall accuracy of our model as 98%. So this is pretty high and our model is performing pretty well. So let's check out for this classification report. So the difference between precision and recall is that precision actually gives us the confidence amount of the predictions, whereas the recall actually tells us about the actual prediction, that is 99% of the total were actually 0, whereas 99% of ones were actually 1, whereas this precision only gives us the percentage of confidence in our model. Besides that, we have this separate matrix, that is F1 score, which is the harmonic mean of this precision and recall. This was all about the project that I wanted to show you in this video. For fake and original banknote classification, the dataset that we have used in this project was pretty straightforward, pretty simple. For a real world dataset, we actually need to do some image processing on the banknotes and get these values for our features. We can extract them. So let me know in the comment section if you can, how you can do that, so that we can apply this same model on it. If your model on the same project outperforms this model, let me know in the comment section below. And also, if you have any doubts regarding any of this part of this video, regarding logistic regression, regarding its metrics, how I performed this pipeline, then how I performed this scaling logistic regression model and this declaration of this pipeline, all the penalty terms, that is ridge and lasso, that we have added to our model, and how we performed the grid search on this model to get the best parameters. So do write in the comment section below. I will definitely try to reply to them. Till then, if you like my work, please do hit the like, share and subscribe button.